everyone, it's Kim and welcome back to Bookmarks and Breadsticks. Welcome back to Bookmarks and Breadsticks. If you're new to my channel, I love everything in food and in writing. And today I'm here to bring you a quick coffee chat about a new culinary romance, foodie romance book, Chef's Kiss. Chef's Kiss is written by TJ Alexander, and this is a new 2022 release. So I first learned about Chef's Kiss through the NB Book Club's most recent author live chat, where Jesse had a live chat with the author, TJ Alexander. I was super excited and really jazzed to see maybe anyone talking about foodie romances, because it's one of my favorite and newest genres that I just started reading. This is an enemies to lovers slash enemies. They start off as enemies, then they become friends, and then they become lovers. It's a workplace romance as well, but the book also does a really good job of addressing other subplots, like treatment in a workspace. So who are our main characters? We have a high-strung pastry chef and a laid-back kitchen manager, and it's a recipe for disaster. So I should caveat that I did buy this book myself, and I really got Bon Appetit test kitchen vibes prior to the mass exodus that happened at Bon Appetit a few years ago. So if you were a fan of Bon Appetit, you might remember Brad Leone, who's their kitchen manager, which I think now he's more of just of an on-camera personality. And you might remember Claire Saffitz from the series Gourmet Chef Makes. These characters definitely feel like I was watching Brad and Claire in a romantic setting in some capacity, and some of the workplace dynamics and mistreatment that act as the subplot to this book feel very similar to the conflict that led to the mass exodus of many of the top talent at Bon Appetit a few years ago. I will link down in the description box below some articles, at least one I can think of, that explains some of that mass exodus for context. So Simone is a recipe developer at The Discerning Chef. She is very type A and she's very organized, and maybe not she's not sunshine and rainbows. She's more of the grumpy protagonist. And then there is a new kitchen manager brought in named Ray. Ray is Sunshine Rainbow's character, and Ray, throughout the book, you learn that Ray is non-binary, and it is an interesting is probably not the right word, but it is a world I am not familiar with, what it is like to come out and how you can come out in different areas of your life, maybe in your personal life versus in a workplace setting, and what some of the discrimination non-binary people or queer people might face. Simone, for example, is bisexual, but has not come out in the office setting, nor does she entirely think it's anyone's business. So for me, that subplot, which really ties into the direct romance, was a really interesting conversation to, I don't want to say learn about because it sounds super educational, but for me, I am a cis hetero woman. I don't face these kinds of discrimination and the stress and this burden. So for me, I would use the word educational. For me, it was really eye-opening, but it was a really powerful read for me. On top of, there was still humor in it because it reminded me of Bon Appetit. Essentially, The Discerning Chef is this editorial magazine that is really just losing subscribers right and left. And out of the blue, Simone is told she's going to be on camera, and they're launching a video YouTube series, and they bring in this really cool producer who knows what he's doing, who also is a lot of the staff who you want to root for their fundamental flaws are called out for being homophobic or transphobic. Chase is a more obvious villain, I would say, but you have some other really great supporting characters like Petey on the video team, who's much more supportive. So essentially they start these video series, and Simone is having a terrible time. And at one point, Petey and Ray are chatting about the fact that Ray makes their own craft brew at home. They upload a video to the wrong YouTube channel, and Ray is an overnight viral sensation. So now Simone and Ray need to work together on a new series. So we have the plot of keeping the publication alive, we have the romance subplot, and then we have the other plot about workplace setting, about unethical employers, unethical standards, and it was a really quick, riveting read for me. This book comes in just shy of 300 pages, and I read it in a day and a half. And as Ray decides to come out as non-binary and have a top surgery, Simone really has to learn and decide whether she's going to put that career first she's worked her entire life for, or if these are things worth fighting for. And I appreciate it also that Simone, it came up in the live show, but the idea is just because you have one trans friend, it is not that trans friend's responsibility to educate you on everything you need to know on how to be a good ally, and that it is exhausting. The same thing with Simone's roommate. Simone also has a trans roommate, Luna, who also checks Simone in a way and will not be the person to hold Simone's hand through the educational process on how to be a good ally. Now, they have a special working relationship where Luna will help if Simone pays in services. And that payment might be making cookies or key lime pie, but I appreciate and I liked seeing the gut check of someone putting up really strong barriers, saying, I am not here to hold your hand and you need to be an adult. At the same time, Luna is a supportive character. So when Luna goes out with a bunch of her girlfriends and brings Simone with her, they are also very open to answering Simone's questions and having Simone practice using Ray's preferred pronouns of they, them. So it was nice to see a good balance between we will be supportive, but we will not coddle you. Like, woe is you learning to use someone else's preferred pronouns and, oh, it's hard, sorry. And I think it's a really good reality check for someone like me who doesn't have those kinds of burdens. So I really, really enjoyed Chef's Kiss. There were definitely moments I was laughing. There were definitely moments that felt referential to Bon Appetit. If you're not someone who was a huge fan of Bon Appetit before that mass exodus, some of those nuances might, the references might not be there for you. And I don't know if TJ Alexander meant to directly reference Bon Appetit or Claire Saffitz or Brad Leone. I made those connections on my own, just to be super clear, but to me it gave it an extra level of humor. I really loved this book. I'm really glad I also read it during Pride Month, but that's not an excuse to only read diversely during Pride Month, just to be super clear. But I am learning to read more diversely. This is my first time reading a book with a non-binary protagonist. Simone is a bisexual protagonist. Her best friend is a transgender woman. For me, it was actually really fun and exciting to have such a diverse cast and learn about these interpersonal dynamics that I might not interact with on a day-to-day basis. So this is the end of this quick coffee chat. I will link to my coffee chat playlist down below where I review fiction and romance books within culinary spaces. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And if you want to keep up to date on what I'm reading, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.